We're rolling.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode 93 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. So excited. It was so close to 100. 100 is a big deal for us. Hopefully we'll put together something really cool. Again, episode 93 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast is brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business, website design, Google Ads, graphic design, they can help. Check them out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or their website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. Request a free review of your entire online presence today. Go check them out. I'm Milton Campus. I am a brown belt training out of South Florida. We have Bo behind the camera.
Hey, yo.
Say hello, Bo. Miguel is out sick today. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the episode.
Tiny Miguel.
Shout out to Britt, our booking manager. Thank you, Britt. You're killing it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, click that subscribe button on YouTube, right? We'd really appreciate it. Get notifications every time we launch an episode or we put out a video.
Yeah, the notification bell.
The notification bell.
Yep.
Right? Joining us shortly is Sean. Sorry, Sean. Sean. I'm already thinking about saying his last name. So Sean Yadimarco. I feel like I need to say it with my New York Italian or my a little Spanish. Yadimarco. He's at Black Belt under Tom DeBlass, and he is the owner of Bergen County Jiu-Jitsu. All right, so stay tuned, everybody. We got a few quick shout-outs. Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. We talk about them every week. There's a reason. They are hands down the best custom gi and no-gi gear provider in the business. Do not believe us. Visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and check out all the custom designs that they post. I'd actually say you could probably reach out to some of those companies that he tags, ask them about their experience with Flow and Roll. I have to say, I know personally you are not going to get anybody that's going to say anything bad about Sean. If you do have a problem, or if you've ever had a problem with anything that he's done or any equipment, anything that you've gotten, believe me, he's going to make it right. You're going to be 100% satisfied with the gear, the gis, the no-gi equipment. We're ordering keychains from him. He has our shirts on his website. I wouldn't be working with him if it wasn't everything wasn't top notch.
If you have a problem with Sean, you're a jerk.
Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm like, you don't have. Sean doesn't have problems. He,
exactly.
when he's doing work with you, it's it's all about solutions and finding the kind of the right gear that's gonna fit your needs. Ask them about their pre-order program. You don't have money to lay out $5-10 for all of the gis and no gi gear that you need. He's got a pre-order program for you. Just give him a call. Reach out on, you can go through his Instagram at flow_n_roll. You can go to his website, flowandroll.com, or flowandroll@gmail.com. Send him an email, reach out, and talk to him about what you need. It's worth the conversation. I know that he's still doing a special where you can buy, let's say, 25 gis, get 25 patches. He'll actually put them on for you. So you're getting them for free. It's 25, 50, 75, 100, whatever you order, he's going to match it with the patches, and he's going to put them on for you. So reach out to them directly for more details. Can't say enough good things about Sean. All right.
Yeah.
If you order anything from the website, this is not for your larger custom orders. If you order anything from the website, use code JJD to get 20% off your order. All right. And again, they've got our podcast tee under their team page, so check it out. All right. Thank you to the BJJ Box for all of their support as well. They are Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box. It's delivered to your door, filled with premium Jiu-Jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. I'm kicking myself because I was supposed to stop at the mailbox on the way down, and I completely forgot. There might be a box sitting there. We could have done an unboxing today.
Snap.
But because Miguel's not here, it's even better. It's actually worked out. Yeah, we'll hopefully get one for next week.
He's good.
I know he's actually traveling. The owner is down in Miami. I don't know if we're going to get to see him, but look, they find the best products in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee that everything that you're going to get in that box is going to be worth way more than the actual cost of your subscription, right? So it's like a monthly subscription program. So each box has typically between 4 and 7 items. I know it's always to that high side. At least, when we get it, he always throws in an extra T-shirt for us. So besides those extras, the average person is going to get between 4 and 7 items. I mean, you're absolutely going to love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like I'm excited just to, when I go home, to check the box to see if I have one there. I get a T-shirt every month, so who doesn't love jiu-jitsu T-shirts? We all do, right?
You're spoiled.
So use coupon code JJD10 for $10 off your first order. And again, hopefully we'll have a new box to open up for you next week. Okay. Now, shout out to the folks over at Neutral Zone. They launched their new product line, Neutral Zone Clean, right? That's the sprays, the refills, and the wipes. NeutralZoneClean.com, Black Belt Digital Marketing, helped build that site. And
shameless plug.
Yes, shameless plug. It's site looks great. You can order singles. You can order 2-packs. I think we had 2, 4, and 6-packs, something like that. For the canisters, look, you can order in bulk. One of the coolest things I think they
really
have,
good too.
They have a big bucket. So like you can get a big bucket of the wipes that you could bring to your gym, and it's gonna have refill, and then you can get the refill, keep them wet if they're there for a while and they dry out a little bit, which I don't think they will, but you can get that big bucket. And then, listen, gift it to your gym or ask your gym to buy some wipes and have them readily available for your
and I'm very
your
picky.
team.
I'm very picky about smells, and it smells really good.
Yeah. Oh, look, I use it.
It's very nice.
I gave away 2 canisters at the gym. I gave away my canister and another one that I brought for somebody. And I was just like, oh shit, now I have no wipes. But I had the spray, and in my car I have I have the original. It's almost done, but they gave me like a really big one that was one of the originals to test.
Yeah, the unmarked
I got one of the first, so I still have. It was so big, I still have that in the car. But again, huge fan. Get rid of the yuckies. I'm not going home. I get home, my wife wants to give me a kiss. I used to be like, don't touch me till I take a shower. And now I've already cleaned myself off before I even get home. So, I mean, it's just a smart thing to do.
You got one of the unmarked ones that they use at the focus groups,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they do the blind test.
I even, the other night, and I, again, don't normally do this, but I'm like, why aren't I doing this? Is I hate putting stuff back into my gym bag without, I don't dirty stuff back into my gym bag. So like anything I wear, my gi top, my belt, I tie it up and I carry it separately from the gym bag that I bring. Actually, I have like a flow and roll, like a big backpack. And I sprayed down my belt and then I put it in the bag. But I also knew I wasn't going to wash it. Like I'll wash it every other time now.
Do you or do you not spray your belt?
Yeah, right. Yes, I spray my belt. So
ding,
again,
ding,
look,
ding, ding.
This again, NeutralZoneClean.com, at NeutralZoneClean on Instagram and Facebook. This is separate from Neutral Zone CBD. We're going to talk about that in a second, but Neutral Zone Clean, the products do not have CBD in them. These are 2 different companies that share, part of their name. Okay? This is all about being clean on the mats, during training, in your personal life. You can keep a canister in the car like I do. You can keep one in the
Pretty much
garage.
anything.
I use it. I got gas today.
If you're a trucker.
I clean my hand, I use it. And look, and they usually it's so wet that like I'll use it for something and then like I maybe, whatever, go to a store, grab a door, a doorknob, and I go back in the car and I'm like, oh, it's still there. It's still wet. I just use it again. So I'm reusing like the same one like in the same day. Again, these do not have CBD in these products. Check them out.
Don't smoke them.
NeutralZoneClean.com. Use code JJD for 15% off your order. Okay. Now let's talk about the CBD, right? So then Neutral Zone CBD has been with us for a while now. So this is about pain management. So no matter if your aches and pains are coming from lifting weights at the gym, rolling on the mats, the daily grind of life, for me, like sitting at a desk all day, Neutral Zone has a product for you. Every time I talk to Mike, the owner, and like he'll say, hey, what are you doing? Or I'm like, oh, just got back from the gym, my back's killing. He's like Neutral Zone, take some CBD. Or we're just having a conversation, be like, I'm so stressed. He's like, take some CBD. Smart. And I do. And I listen to him. So find your Neutral Zone by finding the best products for your pain wellness. They've got tons of products. You see them here on the table. You got tinctures, you got roll-ons, you've got sprays, you've got lotions. They have it all. And they actually have products on their website under 2 other brand names for pets and a product line for women. Okay, so check them out at neutralzonecbd.com, and you can use code JJD, and it's 25% off your order. All right, so go check them out.
Cool.
All right?
Coolio.
All right, Bo. We ready to rock? Let's do this. Let's get Sean in here. All right, Sean, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Excited for this.
Yeah. So, again, appreciate you coming on. We're going to jump in right from the beginning. Let's talk about how you got your start in martial arts. I think you were a wrestler first. Is that right?
Yeah, I started wrestling as a kid, and
Okay.
I was also like a very avid Taekwondo competitor as a kid.
Okay.
And that was the beginning of my martial arts journey. And then after that, I found jiu-jitsu at around like 12 or 13, and I've been training since.
Okay. How far did you take the Taekwondo? You said you competed?
I competed in Taekwondo from like the ages of 5 to 13, probably at least twice a month. So I
Really?
was
Okay.
insanely competitive with that until I found jiu-jitsu.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
when did you get your start in jiu-jitsu?
Around like 11, 12, around there. And then I just kind of took off with that.
Where did you start? Who was your first gym? Is it, we know some big names that you train with now, but where did you start?
I started under like a Renzo Gracie affiliate, Jamie Cruz. He
Okay.
trained a lot of UFC fighters. He trained Jim Miller. He trained his brother. He trained this other guy, Sean Santella. A lot of good fighters he used to train. And he was like my first instructor, Renzo Gracie affiliate.
Now, have you always been under Renzo Gracie?
Yeah, I've always been
Right.
Team Renzo Gracie.
Team Renzo. And you are recently promoted to black belt? How long ago has it
Yes.
been? How long has it been now?
I got promoted to black belt mid-July.
And you're under Tom DeBlass. You got your black
Yes,
belt
sir.
from Tom DeBlass.
Yep, I'm a Tom DeBlass.
Freaking
black belt.
honor, huh? I mean, that's amazing.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
So, real quick side note: we're talking about Renzo Gracie. We're talking about Tom DeBlass. Do you know anything about that recent Renzo video in the subway? Did he get into a fight? Is that really
So-
him?
What I heard was, Renzo was talking to someone in Portuguese, and this guy came up to him and said, "Speak English. This is
Oh
America."
boy!
Yeah, and then they started fighting. Renzo took him down, made him apologize, and then let him back up, and that was it.
That was it. The
Literally,
video. Go ahead.
it was
go ahead.
just jiu-jitsu 101 in a subway.
Yeah, the video that I've seen, or at least the few times that I've seen it, it pretty much cuts out when he looks like he mounts him, but then everybody cuts the video from there. So I don't really
Yeah.
know what happened after that. But
No, yeah. Apparently, Renzo didn't even throw a single strike. It was
Yeah.
all jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
yeah, and the other guy looked like he was throwing strikes. He looked like he was punching, right?
Yeah, Renzo didn't throw a single punch. He just took him down, mounted him, didn't let him up, made him apologize, and then he got up and he just ran away.
Of all
And had-
places to tell somebody to speak English, like New York City is probably not the best place to do it because it's like,
And what are the chances you run into Renzo Gracie into a subway and you get into a fight with him?
it's funny because at least once a week I see that meme of Renzo on the subway and he looks all
Yeah.
crazy and it says something like, imagine having this guy staring at you, but then talking to him about jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, if they ever clone a human, Renzo should definitely be the first person to clone. One of a kind.
Yeah. Do you get to do you get to train in the city often?
I've taken a lot of Renzo's classes.
Yeah.
I used to train at Renzo's when John Danaher was there.
Okay.
So yeah, I got to take a lot of classes from John, a lot of classes from Renzo, and a lot of classes from the other Renzo Gracie instructors.
Yeah. I'm sure you're probably sick of talking about this because people ask, but we got to ask, like, what was your experience training there with, in the Blue Basement and with John? And I mean, those were some killers. And that was all before they left for Puerto Rico, obviously, right?
Yeah, I didn't go to Puerto Rico as well. The time I was training in the Blue Basement, it was that place is magical, man. Like John's a wizard. So many different faces you meet every day, and of course, like getting to train with like the likes of like Nicky Rod, Gordon, Craig Jones.
Yeah.
At that point, it was just like survival.
Yeah. When you're a new
Yeah,
guy, when
but-
you walk, well, again, were you kind of there first before them? before like that all happened? I mean,
no, I wasn't at Henzo's like the HQ that long.
Okay.
I was training at a Henzo Gracie affiliate gym, like throughout my like childhood and teenage years.
Yeah.
But I wasn't at the HQ that long. But I did spend like a significant amount of time training with John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got it. Can you tell us about that time? Again, you say he's like a wizard, but what are like?
He's just his ability to innovate is something that a lot of jiu-jitsu instructors lack.
Yeah.
And his ability to innovate just far exceeds almost any other instructor I've ever seen.
Yeah. And when you say innovate, you mean like take the most basic of moves that you might think that you're awesome at, and then like turn it into this whole system or series. Am I on the right track there?
Yeah, his ability to create like offensive and defensive cycles with techniques.
Yeah.
And when to initiate certain offensive cycles, when to initiate your defensive cycles. It's just something that really hasn't been done before in grappling.
Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts, or really Danaher podcast, was when he was on Rogan, and he broke down the video of Gordon beating Cyborg.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that episode where he's literally like, Jamie, take it back a 1/10 of a second. And like, he's literally explaining like everything that Gordon did. And it blew my mind. And then I was just obviously, like everybody else, just became like an immediate fan. It's like the mind on this man is just amazing. Just to like spend a few minutes with him, or, be able to train under him is just got to be crazy.
No, it 100% was an honor. He's trained the likes of George St. Pierre, Gordon Ryan, Nicky Rod, all those guys, MMA, jiu-jitsu. His ability to train athletes in both is just also unheard of.
And we take nothing away from, let's talk about Tom DeBlass. I mean, he's an amazing teacher and competitor as well.
Tom's an amazing teacher, amazing human being. He's doing a lot for the community. He's, he has the NYPD Jiu-Jitsu Club affiliated with him now.
Really?
He just taught a seminar to the NYPD.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, his ability to spread jiu-jitsu in a positive manner is unlike anyone else in jiu-jitsu as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that sanctioned? Do you know if that, because I'm curious, my dad was a transit cop. For many years, and I'm pushing 50. So my dad's been like retired since I was like 16, 17 years old. So it's a long time, but it was before the New York City and the transit police merged, right? So he was a cop before that, because it used to be two completely different departments.
Yeah.
Right? Is that an official? We talk about it a lot. Is that an officially sanctioned club, or is it part of the NYPD, or is it a bunch of cops that have a club and then Tom is like working with that club? Because that would be a big deal if the police department's actually sanctioning that kind of training now. That's amazing.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
I think it is, just like a bunch of NYPD officers that like formed a club for the NYPD who want to learn jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yeah. Well, I follow Tom. I think he's amazing. We shot him a couple of messages here and there, like, hey, come on the podcast. I'm sure he gets thousands of messages.
He's a very busy guy.
A week, if not a day. And but I love following his stuff. He's a super positive guy. And it's got to be amazing to train under. I mean, that's Tom, a Mount Rushmore right there of people that you've trained with or under.
No, yeah, Tom is also very inspiring. He inspires all of his athletes to, chase their goals. We have a lot of amazing athletes on our team. We have Jaden Mueller, who just won the No-Gi Worlds at Purple Belt. We have Cameron Malott, who just beat the Giant Slayer in a super fight. Tons of amazing athletes that Tom is producing. And his ability to inspire, give technical, development to all of his athletes is also just unparalleled.
Yeah. I don't usually watch a lot of videos of people when they're just flowing with like a student, But Tom's have always been like really fun to watch. Where he'll be like, I'm setting up the camera. This is real training, you know, and just his flow is just amazing. And you know, he's I can't remember the names of the guys roll with, but I mean, these guys did not look like slouches. And he's just like amazing, like 5-10 minute videos of him rolling. It's just like watching a freaking ballet. He's just it's amazing, you know.
And it's impressive because he's a big guy, and to be able to move like that, to have that amount of body awareness combined with technique is very beautiful to watch.
Yeah, very cool. So talking about watching videos and stuff like that, I heard you on a podcast mention that you like to study film on your opponents when you're going to an event. That would be more of like maybe like a super fight or a tournament where you know the competitors, right? Obviously,
well, yeah,
IBJJF, you might not know. You're not going to know everybody, but
yeah, I study all my opponents.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out on crucial information. Try to see where my opponents lack in certain areas. See where I can exploit that. Some people, they psych themselves out though when they study their opponents, and it could be detrimental to their performance. You just have to be confident in your own techniques to the point where you don't psych yourself out when you study your opponents. And that confidence is built through just continuous drilling and, continuous training.
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 23.
Wow. You don't talk like a 23-year-old. The people that you've spoken about, the average 23-year-old in jiu-jitsu is not where you are, and hasn't trained under those people. Doesn't have that kind of insight either.
It's martial arts is what I devoted my life to. So, this is a 23 years of devotion to martial arts. This is where it leads to.
Yeah. And you have your own gym now?
Yes, I have my own gym, Bergen County Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
It's in Paramus, New Jersey. And we're growing. I've been open for about a year now.
New Jersey.
Yes, sir. West Jersey.
With the utmost respect, I'm from New York. We call it Dirty Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up like 10 minutes from the city in North Jersey. So yeah, I've been to the city a lot, been to New York a lot.
So you opened up your place like in the midst of, I guess, is it like we were coming out of COVID at that point?
Yeah, about the tail end of COVID, I would say. I guess we were still kind of in COVID. I have no idea anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the news today, and we're back. The kids are in school, and we're back in COVID.
Okay, so yeah, I have no idea in the COVID timeline where we're at. Yeah. But I opened my gym about a year ago.
Yeah. And how has that been? How are you finding now? You're on 2 or 3 different sides, right? Student, competitor, now gym owner.
I'm very passionate about teaching. Teaching is probably my first love.
Okay.
I do love competing as well, but my primary goal in life is to be an amazing teacher and to inspire people, help people gain confidence and the ability to defend themselves.
Yeah. Where do you go ahead? You want to finish here?
Yeah, and I compete a lot, try to be someone my students can look up to, and that's it.
So now when you're teaching jiu-jitsu, and we talk about all sides of it. I started at 41, so I'm a hobbyist. The podcast is how I give back. I do love to, train I'm a brown belt. I love to help, the newer white belts. I'm someone who will gravitate to them. But, hey, listen, everybody's about to roll. Let's do Jiu-Jitsu 101 here. Let's, talk about breaking the guard or, start in my guard. Let's show you the basics. So I love that element. Where do you fall on, or really what type of jiu-jitsu do you feel like you're teaching? Because there are some that are doing the old school, kind of self-defense parts as well. There's the sport jiu-jitsu now that we have. Or do you lean towards one? Is it like purely sport jiu-jitsu that you're teaching your students, or do you get into that self-defense side as well?
So I have multiple different classes. Okay. Every day at 6 p.m. I have a gi, like kind of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu 101 class. Okay. Very traditional jiu-jitsu, going over a lot of, Gracie jiu-jitsu self-defense techniques. I have, like 7 p.m., 8:30 p.m. classes where we do some advanced jiu-jitsu. I've seen both sides. I've trained under the Gracies. I've trained under high-level sport jiu-jitsu guys. So I have the ability to teach both, and that's what I do at my gym.
Okay. And gi, no gi? You've got a mix of classes, right?
I teach both gi and no-gi. Yep. We have gi and no-gi classes every single day, 7 days a week.
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. Neutral Zone is combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at NeutralZoneClean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone Clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
So now you mentioned, competing. How often are you competing? Tell us a little bit about I know that I've seen a lot of your stuff, and it's been more like, I don't want to just say super fights, but I know you've competed in IBJJF, but I'm seeing you more like the Emerald Cities and those kind of, or finishers, right? Those kind of events. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a preference?
My favorite is actually the IBJJF.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've, between like white, blue, and purple belt, I did a ton of IBJJF gi and no-gi tournaments. I've won the IBJJF Pan Ams. I've won the IBJJF American Nationals, and a bunch of opens.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of submission only events.
Okay.
I just won the finishers 185-pound title.
Congrats. I saw that.
Thank you. With Emerald City, I was able to submit Andre Petrosky, who's an undefeated UFC fighter currently. So I've seen both worlds. I've seen the submission only side of jiu-jitsu, and I've seen the points IBJJF side of jiu-jitsu. I enjoy both, and I think both can make you a more well-rounded grappler.
Okay. I honestly thought that you would have said, well, I like the ones that are paying me, well, I get to walk home with some money, with some money in my pocket.
Yeah. I mean, the cash prizes are nice, of course. And a lot of the big professional events in jiu-jitsu now are putting up serious money, and that's good to see for the sport.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the IBJJF though. They really paved the way for competitive jiu-jitsu and really gave athletes a platform. And I think they are starting to pay the black belts now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's just going to steadily increase, hopefully over time.
I feel like they have to, whether they like it or not. There's so many events now. Go ahead.
Yeah. If all these other events are paying serious cash, and if you're not paying serious cash, then what happens? If you're not paying, you're going to turn into an amateur event.
Yeah.
So the pressure is on to keep up in terms of competitor pay. So
in those tournament, whether they're kind of the finishers in the Emerald Cities or the IBJ, have you had to fight friends, or even you're a young guy, you've got to have students that are at your level. Have you ever had to fight a friend or a student?
Yeah, I've fought a couple of my friends in matches.
Uh-huh.
People I train with every single day, I've had matches against. It's no hard feelings. You go out there.
Yeah.
I've never closed out with anyone. I've always competed against my training partners or my friends.
Has anybody ever asked you to close out? Come on, Sean, let me have this one. No,
I have been asked to close out. Not disclosing any names, but
okay. Always turned it down.
But yeah, I've never closed out.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, I don't love closeouts. I think. The Rotolos did it recently, right? They fought. Look, hey, we train together. We try to kill each other in the gym on the regular. Why wouldn't we do it here? I would maybe see it from a teacher-student perspective. Like, right, if it was literally like somebody that you trained and now you're maybe I could see that, because that's a little harder for the student. Like, I don't want to say you lose a student, but, I just think that's a harder situation than a guy that's a friend, somebody you've trained with for years. Maybe you're not his coach. He's truly a training partner. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the closeouts. I don't know. I don't really understand why they do it. It's who was the, was it I think the Robert Drysdale incident that Gordon kind of, I don't know how much you follow that
I've seen some of the debates. I don't know if I have no idea what actually happened.
Yeah.
All we can do is speculate.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I personally, I wasn't there. I have no idea what actually happened.
Well, much respect for not closing out. I like that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So when you have had to face those friends, how is it when you get back into the gym? Has anybody, there are ever any sour grapes? Anybody upset?
No, maybe internally they have some disdain, but in training, it's I've never felt that. Yeah. So it's just back to normal. I think, with jiu-jitsu, grappling, wrestling, it's different with competing against teammates. If strikes are involved, then, that should never happen, I think.
Gotcha.
Because then you're seriously injuring each other, and, I don't think that should ever be a possibility. But grappling, I think, competing against teammates isn't a big deal.
Okay. Now, at your gym, I heard this interesting factoid. You don't ever close. You are truly 24/7, 365. You do not close on holidays. Is that right?
I have never closed on a holiday. Every single holiday I have had open mat or something at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have classes 7 days a week. I have 5 a.m. classes Monday through Friday.
So Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving Day, you still have open mats?
Yes, we always have open mats on holidays. Like I was saying, Monday through Friday, we have 5 a.m. classes, 7 a.m. classes, 5 p.m. classes, 6 p.m. classes, 7 p.m. classes, and 8:30 p.m. classes.
Wow. You're not coaching all of those, are you?
I'm not coaching all of those, but those classes are available.
Very cool.
Dude, he does more in 1 week than I've done in my whole life.
He does more in one day he does more training in 1 day than I do all month.
Oh, jeez, wow. I'm exhausted, man.
So we had a bunch of listener questions, so I'm gonna kind of throw some of these at you. You might know some of these guys. That happens a lot where sometimes it's friends and buddies. You'll let me know if you know these guys. But let's go to our first question. So this was Wardo1K is his Instagram handle. And he says, Sean, how did you handle your first competition loss as a white belt, if you did? Maybe he knows. Compared to how you handle your losses as a black belt now?
So my first ever match in jiu-jitsu, I lost to a girl. I was 12 or 11, something like that. And yeah, I got completely smoked by a female.
Ow.
But yeah, so that was pretty rough on my 12-year-old self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
And what was the second part to that?
The
question?
second part was just how you handled losses as a white belt to now at black.
At white belt, it was I think I've always just tried to have kind of a short-term memory when it comes to losses. After I lost, I would study, see what happened, see why I lost, and then forget about it, move on to the next match. You kind of have to have a short-term memory if you're going to be competing all the time.
Yeah.
If you're letting all those losses like internally bother you, you're not going to last long in the sport. It's brutal because MMA, you compete, once every couple months or something. Jiu-jitsu, if you're an active jiu-jitsu competitor, you're competing like once or twice a month. Yeah. So you're gonna have losses, somewhere down the line, unless you're Gordon Ryan.
Yeah,
or
sure,
King
right?
Kong. Yeah, either one.
So you mentioned MMA in that answer. Have you ever considered fighting MMA? Do you train as well at your school?
I've done Muay Thai on and off. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I've done like MMA specific training. I do want to do some MMA fights. I do have a lot of interest in that. I want to compete, win some high level black belt tournaments first, and then 100% do some MMA fights. I would love to do that. Again,
your age, would you say? Did you say 23?
23, yes.
23. I mean, at your level at jiu-jitsu at this age, this is like the perfect time. There are a lot of guys that are like they're in their 30s. They're like, hey, got my black belt now, and I'm 33, and I want to give MMA a try. I've had interviews with people saying that, and I'm like, I think it might be a little too late for you by the time you take a couple of amateur fights, and then you get picked up by a professional organization. I mean, now you're mid 30s. Are you really truly going to be able to make a run? Is it worth it? I think the fact that there is actually money in jiu-jitsu now, I think somebody like that, again, we've had high-level people on that have talked about doing it. In the back of my mind, I'm saying, just stick with jiu-jitsu. You can make more money and not get hit in the face this way. And I don't know. That's my opinion. But you're definitely in the sweet spot at age-wise. You're already a black belt. You're a high-level black belt. And if you're already doing MMA, there might be, a shot at, would you... do you see yourself in the UFC or in a larger organization, or is it one of those things? Yeah, I just want to, put the gloves on and have a couple of fights. If you're still with us, we lost video, but we still have Sean on audio, so we're gonna keep on. We'll continue to move forward. If the video comes on, great. If not, you're gonna see Sean's pretty face on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. But go ahead, talk about MMA.
So yeah, I would like to do MMA more for I'm teaching self-defense classes. I would like to prove my ability to, fight in an MMA setting, kind of similar to how the Gracie family did, proving their martial art. It's like proving what I'm teaching in a self-defense setting, like, trying to show that my jiu-jitsu would not only work against other jiu-jitsu practitioners, but guys trying to punch me in the face.
What I mean? It just makes sense. I think, again, you've got a great take on how to be a coach. That's the way to do it.
No, yeah, 100%. So in terms of, if I see myself fighting in the UFC or something like that, to me, that's not really important to me. You know what I mean? I'm a teacher first. I love competing. It was just to do it to, prove my ability to, help someone defend themselves in terms of, if someone tried to attack them, strikes are going to be involved. My ability to implement my jiu-jitsu, even if strikes are involved.
Okay. So now there was a second part of the question. Like, he didn't ask about MMA, but we went there. But Wardo1K on Instagram, the second part of his question was, how do you control your nerves and your mind prior to stepping on the mat, or prior to a competition or super fight?
So first, you need to have the confidence. You build that confidence through drilling, continuous training. Making sure you're doing everything right, making sure your diet's on point. That'll give you the confidence. That'll calm down some of your nerves. And even the day of, I like to, control my breathing. I do a lot of meditation. and yeah, you just have to, you have to prepare like, how a UFC champion prepares. You have to take it to a professional level. Like if you're going to be competing, you have to act like a professional. You know what I mean?
Okay. Gotcha.
Try to, I like to listen to calm music. I like to just, I like to meditate, control my breathing. I like to, and that's it.
You mentioned diet. Are you someone that eats clean all the time, or
I try to eat clean. I would say I eat clean a good 90% of the time. I do have my slip-ups, but
pizza, burgers, and fries.
But I'm pretty on point with my diet, I would say.
Okay. All right. So our next question is from El Rey Mello 22 on Instagram. He says, "My question for Sean is, what is his favorite memory from training under Tom DeBlass?"
My favorite memory from training under Tom DeBlass. My favorite memory from training under Tom DeBlass is just having conversations with him that were very inspiring for me to compete on a very high level. Like his ability to inspire me is just my favorite memory of him. Is his ability to make people believe in themselves is just my favorite part about Tom. And, my favorite memory is those conversations of, him getting me to believe in myself.
Gotcha. I've talked about this a few times. My very first school, my coach was an ex-Marine, and he had opened up a new school. I was one of his first students, and he gave, if you were a veteran, he was a part of a few different PTSD organizations for his own PTSD. And he would invite those guys to train, and it was free. He'd give them a gi. It was always free. They never had to pay, never a time they had to pay a membership. And sometimes a few of those guys would show up, and we'd be stretching. We'd be getting ready for class. 2 hours later, we sat in that circle. I didn't serve, but listening to these guys talk and just being part of that little circle. Some of my favorite memories of the times training there were just those little circles, just talking, the motivation from the coach, just really understanding where these guys were coming from. It wasn't training. It wasn't a move. It wasn't this cool series that he was teaching us. It was just getting that motivation from the coach. So I have that. That is my favorite memory of my coach. And again, it was something non-jiu-jitsu. Hey guys, support for today's episode comes from Vincero Collective. If you aren't familiar with Vincero yet, they make exceptionally crafted, stylish watches at affordable prices. If you were with us last week, Miguel and I both got a watch. I have mine here. Unfortunately, Miguel is out today, so we don't get his feedback. Awesome. I've actually put it back in here. I did wear it to go out with my wife to dinner since we last recorded.
That's nice.
It is an amazing watch. I love when I wear suits or get dressed. I'm like always in cool. Navy blue and like brown shoes and stuff. So perfect watch. I mean, I chose mine, and I guess I guess which one Miguel would like. So it's an amazing watch. It's beautiful. I loved it. Definitely it's my dressy watch now. When I got married a couple of years ago. December will be 3 years. And I didn't realize it till I saw the pictures. I have with a brown band that I put on it. I look like the biggest freaking dork in my wedding pictures with I wish that I had invested in a watch. And now my watch collection is going to consist of Vincero. So
looks like a licorice candy on your.
It looks. I look like an idiot. Right. I mean, to the point. I'm maybe we should just Photoshop a watch.
It's what's in there? It's the one emergency.
So again, if you're not familiar with them, they make exceptional watches. If you want to cut to the website there, Bo.
There it is.
Right, they do have other products, but we're focused on the watches. Other premium brands have these insane markups. I'm not paying, I'm not even going to mention some of the brands, but I'm just not like someone that spends a lot of money on flashy jewelry. These watches that we got were $150 each. The ones that
that's not bad at all.
That's not.
I was thinking it was going to be way more.
What did I paid $400 for my.
Dude, that watch looks so really, really cool. I thought it was a lot more than that. Holy shit.
You can finally own a high quality and a lasting timepiece without going broke. And the best part is that our listeners, the listeners of this podcast, are getting hooked up to save even more with the biggest discount that Vincero offers. All right. So if you're looking for the perfect accessory to help elevate your style, for a limited time, they're going to give us 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with code JJD at VinceroCollective.com. That link is in the bio on our podcast audio and on YouTube. Click that link and check them out. 3 words come to mind when I think about their products: stylish, quality, versatility, right? Vincero designs everything in-house, sources their own material, and produces in small batches. So they're committed to doing things well or not at all. And you know, it's funny, as it was sitting here, Bo, I'm looking at the back of the packaging and it says climate neutral certified, which, nice. You know, I'm a lefty liberal. I like that kind of stuff.
I just lost like half the crowd.
Half the audience, right? But I'm during the podcast today, I've been looking at it and I'm like,
well, I have 3 words.
Hadn't even noticed that.
I have 3 words for everyone. Don't miss out.
Yeah. So again,
I think that's really a great deal and it's a really nice piece. Like I said, I'm actually really surprised. I thought it was a lot more.
Yeah. There are other price points. There are some that are more expensive and a little bit less expensive. You see on the screen, right? They've got the different bands. They've got sunglasses. I even saw, and I'm not gonna.
I've been hanging around.
An image of like an everyday carry, a little pocket knife that they had. So I'm interested in learning some more and hopefully getting some more products. They can only offer this big discount for a limited time, so don't wait or it's going to be too late. Get 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with code JJD at Vincero Collective. Okay, support our show. Use the code and JJD at VINCERO collective.com. All right. And remember, we have our little giveaway too. So let us know that you purchased and then you're entered into a giveaway with us. But I guarantee you that you will find something that fits your style. Shop Vincero today. Let's get back to the show. When we lost you, I was telling you a story of my coach. I don't know how much of it you heard. Like, he was a Marine and he gave away jiu-jitsu to other Marines who were part of PTSD organizations. Those are sometimes we would just sit there and talk, and 2 hours later, there was never any training. Those guys needed the conversation just as much as they needed the jiu-jitsu. So again, it's crazy, but I've talked about that multiple times. It's one of my best memories of working with or training under that coach. So again, kind of feel what you're saying about Tom, just like sitting down, getting that knowledge from him. The non-jiu-jitsu stuff, so to speak, is some of my best memories of my coach.
Yeah, and if you notice with Tom, all of his black belts are ride or die, Tom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. That's because, he's, he shows loyalty to his guys, and he shows, kind of like unconditional love to all of his guys.
Yeah.
And, they show it back. And, you'll see other instructors where, they'll lose even black belts and stuff like that. But Tom, everyone who's under Tom is ride or die, and there's a reason for that.
I mean, again, look, it's he's definitely one of those guys that, you say Tom DeBlass, people know who Tom is, right?
100%.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, again, it's an honor to train under him, and it's I couldn't imagine being, being able to say that I'm a black belt under Tom DeBlass would be that's a dream for most of us. So you're in a good place, and it's good to hear. I mean, it's confirmation to what a lot of us that follow him, perceive or feel like we know that he's just a great dude, and he definitely always seems like he's there for not only his students, like when you see those crazy videos of some kid getting beat up and he's out there hey, that's wrong, he's an advocate for the little guy. It seems sometimes too.
There for everyone, and there's no one else I'd rather be under in the world.
Very cool. All right, so we have another question from Andy Lopez, 59 on Instagram. He says, my favorite question to ask black belts is what made you fall in love with jiu-jitsu? Not just try, but what made you fall in love with it?
So originally what made me fall in love with it was, watching the old school UFCs and watching the old school Pride videos and seeing the effectiveness of it between, martial art versus martial art. That was like my first exposure to jiu-jitsu, seeing it like that. And, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then, once I started training jiu-jitsu, it was, it's the ability to, there's so many different avenues you can go down in terms of technical development. It's like an open world game. I don't know if you've ever played video games, but, it's like an open world game where there's so many different avenues for you to technically develop at, unlike, boxing or something else. It's, like boxing, like there's only so many techniques, but you're constantly refining those techniques. With jiu-jitsu, it's like there's thousands of techniques that you can learn, and it's very fascinating. It's very different than most other martial arts.
There's never a time you're never going to hear anybody say, well, I've learned all the jiu-jitsu. I learned it all.
Yeah.
That's it. No more. That just doesn't happen in this world. For every, like my coach says, for every level, there's another level. I mean, for every move, there's a counter. For every counter, there's a new counter, right? And there's somebody. I mean, I just see the we all watch videos and we all see it on Instagram. All of a sudden, some guy comes out. You're like, how did I not know that wrist lock was there or that triangle setup was there from that position? It's just every day you could absolutely learn a new version of what you already think you know.
It's insane. It was like when leg lock started becoming a thing. A lot of old school jiu-jitsu guys, who were like world champions and stuff had, no idea about like this whole new world of jiu-jitsu. And even when, the high level leg lockers thought they knew everything, the false reap started becoming popular and everyone's like, what the fuck is that? But yeah, jiu-jitsu is constantly being innovated. It's really a sport where, a lot of highly intelligent people partake in, and highly intelligent people are able to innovate these techniques. And there's constantly more to learn in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Can you have your finger over the camera a little bit there?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So you're just saying about intelligent people. Have you seen this whole Mark Zuckerberg thing? Right, he's training stand up and jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I saw that.
For people on the outside, I think they might look at that and be like, whatever. Yeah, he saw. For us, we're like, but that's like the perfect guy. That's like, we know that guy. We all have that one guy that's like so super intelligent, like rocket scientist type of person. And it's just like, they're the most amazing jiu-jitsu practitioners because of the way they kind of, not only the way they look at things, the way they learn, but the way they digest the information. They're like the perfect chess player for this, right? They are the...
No, yeah. It's, people who play chess would love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
No, I play chess.
When I saw that, I didn't hate on him, not even a little bit. I was just like, this makes sense. If he's doing, I saw the stand-up stuff. I don't know that I saw any of the jiu-jitsu, but he talked about jiu-jitsu as well. And I think he talked about doing jiu-jitsu on Rogan. But it's just like, now people are talking about it. It makes total sense because that mindset of the way that somebody like that learns and digests information and kind of regurgitates it, and then like actually that way of learning is an amazing way of learning.
100%.
It's perfect. He's perfect for this sport. If he takes it further, I'd love to see him pull a Mario Lopez and see him at a local IBJJF tournament. If that ever happens.
That would be extraordinary. 100%. A billionaire, doing martial arts tournaments.
Yeah. Who's the other one? Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy was out there. Again, big name.
Yeah, but
Tom Hardy,
Mark,
right?
Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg's on a different level in terms of wealth. Like Mario Lopez, these are millionaires, but Mark Zuckerberg is like one of the money whales in this world.
Yeah, this is true.
That would be insane seeing him in a martial.
So we have a couple more questions. We have we have 3 questions from the same guy. So the BJJ coach on Instagram, he says, what are the 3 most important principles for beginners to focus on when learning jiu-jitsu? That's question number 1.
Okay. Question number 1, 3 most important principles. I would say you should learn how to frame and create elbow knee connection when you're in like a bottom pinning position. So I would say, yeah, framing and elbow knee connection are two of the most important principles. And a third principle I would say is, kind of like almost distance management. Like when you're on bottom, learning just how to create that space. When you're on top, learning how to create that pressure. And when you're on the feet, learning how to close the distance. So yeah, like distance management for jiu-jitsu, learning how to frame, learning how to create that elbow knee connection. I think the first thing white belts should learn is pin escapes and, distance management.
Okay. So second part of his question is, and I fall into this one, what recommendations do you have for larger grapplers rolling with smaller grapplers and vice versa?
So a larger grappler rolling with a smaller grappler, you do have to be careful, if,
your fingers again. You're covering the camera.
So sorry. It's like subconscious.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
I
I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about being a larger grappler training with a smaller grappler, if any type of injury happens, you're automatically the bad guy.
It's why I pull guard a lot.
Yeah, I think, until you get to a highly, technical, efficient level, you're just going to have to, move very slow and train getting smaller because the risk of injury is very high when, especially if you both, like the smaller grappler and the larger grappler, aren't at a high technical level. You're just going to have to take things very slow until you're at that level.
Yeah, like I said, I'm an advocate, especially for, again, a hobbyist like myself. I'm 240. Most guys are way smaller than me in my gym, under 200 pounds, probably under 185, at least the adults that I would typically train with. And I kind of have to pull guard because if I do get on top, especially if it's a lower belt, it's perceived as bullying. Like I'm bullying them a little bit or I'm going real hard on them. So, I take those opportunities to pull guard and I work on my defense. And then when, there are a couple of big guys in my gym too now. So they're just, again, they're lower belts, but then I'll go a little bit harder with those guys, because being under, a white belt at 260 is not as, even at brown belt, it's not fun to be under him. Especially I have one in mind myself. He's a wrestler. He's probably my weight, wrestling background. He's a green belt. He just came back from Wagner's. He trained with us, moved a little bit further down south in Florida. So he trained with Wagner and now he's back. So now he's got his Wagner bag of tricks. And then he's a big dude with a wrestling background. So him, I'm going to go a little bit harder and I'm not pulling guard on him,
I actually have, I'm actually training a former NFL player at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's this guy, Christian Sicoli. He's like 300 pounds. He was a former defensive end for the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
He was actually the first Albanian to be drafted into the NFL.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he actually, he has competition goals and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome, but he is a huge dude. And, we do have to be very careful.
Yeah. Who you put him with, right?
Yeah, you do have to be very careful. And it's just about, knowing that in training, you're not trying to win, you're just trying to improve. Some big guys, they don't like, being, submitted by little guys, and then they start to get competitive, and that's when it happen. As long as, you don't think of training as winning and losing, the training environment will be more safe. Yeah.
I have he's about 53. He's a good friend. He's actually a client of my marketing company as well. We both had groin injuries at the same time. He's got a little bit of a neck injury, and we went to go roll. I said, ADCC finals or we're flowing? And he was just like, let's flow. And then, of course, then he went hard. And I'm like, but he's more injured than me, so I just took it easy. But it does happen. I'm very verbal with my training partners. The roll right after that one last night was a white belt that says, hey, can we work on some fundamentals? And I was like, absolutely, let's go right here. And then, we just worked on some escapes and stuff like that. So I know my training partners know that I'll do that. Most of the guys in most gyms are going to be like, no, I want to roll. Let's roll, and we'll do that after. So I'm definitely, I like that role. Literally that role of helping people. It's one of of my favorite things about jiu-jitsu as I get a little bit older is the training and being like, hey, don't make that mistake. Nobody told me not to do that. Here, do this. And, I love giving that advice. But
being able to, pass on your knowledge to people is kind of, one of the things that makes you immortal. Being a teacher is kind of like a path to immortality.
Yeah, right.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd ever own a gym, but I do enjoy that part. If I didn't work so much already, I would definitely talk to my coach about coaching at the school, helping out with the kids program. Because I did do that at my first school, but just time doesn't allow it. But it's absolutely, I'm not, I'm in this for me. I'm not in it necessarily for the competition side. I love doing the podcast, but it's one of my favorite things about jiu-jitsu. It's teaching somebody something and then watching them do it. Like a week later, you're like, he really did listen, and seeing them do it. I'm like a big lockdown guy. I like the north-south choke. So like those things, all of a sudden I see them do it. I'm like, all right, good job. I love that. All right. So we have a group, we call this the drill down.
The drill down.
We have a group of about 7 questions. So those were our listener questions, but now we have some questions that we ask every guest. They're usually a similar version of about 6 or 7 questions. So we're going to jump into these now. So your preference, and again, you can elaborate on any of these, but your preference when you're training, is it gi or no gi?
So I would say I enjoy the gi more, but I'm just more no-gi oriented with my submissions. I like head and arm chokes. I like front headlocks. I like to wrestle. I like to I like to do leg locks. For me, my jiu-jitsu is definitely more favored towards no-gi, but I do enjoy the gi. I think the gi is beautiful, and I kind of grew up in a gi, training martial arts my whole life. So the gi will always kind of be my first love, but I'm just better at no gi.
So if you got a guy that just really loves to train no gi, the old school guys would be like, no, you got to train in the gi. You have to. Do you kind of push people towards that, or say, hey, whatever you want to do? Is it their choice?
I think it depends on what your goals are. I think with no gi jiu-jitsu, if you want to be a no-gi jiu-jitsu competitor, or if you want to fight MMA, no-gi will favor that. But I do think training in the gi is, it's grappling with friction. And, I live in the Northeast. It's a little colder here most of the year. If you get into a street fight, you're going to have that extra friction.
This is true.
And I actually think the pace of the gi is more realistic in terms of a street fight. Like, I feel like no-gi jiu-jitsu is actually faster than a street fight. But gi jiu-jitsu is actually probably would be more similar to the pace of a street fight. And the friction would be more similar. I think, so I think in terms of pace and friction, a street fight would be more similar to the gi. But of course, I think, some of the grips, no-gi grips would be very beneficial for a street fight as well. But I think it depends what your goals are. So if you're just training to defend yourself, I think the gi is very important for those aspects I mentioned. If you're training with the sole purpose of MMA or just being a competitive no-gi jiu-jitsu competitor, then the gi probably isn't for you.
Okay. So now next question, takedown or pull guard?
I love my takedowns, but I think playing guard is just more fun. I love playing reverse De La Hiva. I love going to K guard. To me, playing guard is just more fun. I have more fun doing jiu-jitsu playing guard. But of course I understand the importance of going for takedowns and passing.
Okay. Now this is one of my favorite questions. Music during rolling. Yes or no? Do you have the radio blasted after the drilling? Or is it silent and it's just, the sound of flesh?
I have music when I'm teaching or at the live training portion of class. I play music just because I know my students like it.
Yeah.
Me personally, when I was training at Henzo's, we never played music in John's class ever.
Yeah.
And I kind of preferred that. But it makes it a more fun environment. a more playful environment, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think it is important to play music just to kind of make it a little bit more of like a playful, fun environment. When it's like dead silent without music, it could be kind of serious, kind of scare some guys off a little bit, kind of seem like a kumite.
Yeah. What's your go-to? Do you have a favorite genre of music or an artist that you play?
I like probably like alternative rock, some rap, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a recent guest say 90s freestyle music. He actually said 90s R&B, but I clarified with him. I'm like, you're talking about, he was going back to like the dance music of the early 90s. So I guess everybody has their own. For me, I like,
it's the best one?
I like anything, because if it's like, we'll actually have like a love song come on in a playlist by accident or something, and then I'll just be like whispering in my
the
my
best,
partner's ear.
in my opinion, the best would be Brazilian lounge. There's nothing like killing someone to Brazilian lounge.
What do you mean, like electronic music?
No, Brazilian lounge music.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, dude, it's smooth. It's
no, not for me.
Dude, it's perfect for it. Look it up.
All right, Sean. So you, we talked about you watch video. Do you watch a lot of MMA? Are you an MMA fan? Are you watching the UFCs?
Yeah, I'm a pretty avid MMA fan.
Yeah. How about on the BJJ side? You're in these events? Are you watching them live? I know you're studying tape, but do you actually watch these events if you're not partaking?
Yeah, 100%. Like for instance, this upcoming ADCC, I'll be competing in the ADCC Open, but I'm staying to watch ADCC.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to watch high level jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your favorite competitors? You have a favorite that you like to watch?
I always liked, besides, my Renzo Gracie lineage teammates, obviously I love watching.
Like a lot of huge names in that organization.
Yeah.
So,
but I would say, outside of that, just to be fair, I really liked watching Shanji Hibero.
Okay. Yeah.
He has beautiful jiu-jitsu. I think he went 12 years or something without having his guard passed a single time in competitive jiu-jitsu. It's actually insane. He had a really close match with Gordon. Gordon won by ref's decision, which, I think it was rightfully so. But, very close match with Gordon. He's been a high-level competitor for years and years and years. Shanji is one of my favorites to watch.
I know it's not officially his book. It's his brother's book, but Jiu-Jitsu University I have the book. It's still to this day one of my favorites. I love taking that book and just taking it out and like just opening up to a page and then just like looking at a series. I actually I read it all the way up to brown belt when I was at purple. And then I was just like, no, I'm going to stop. And then I would go back to the beginning again. And some of those, he's in there. I bring it up because he's in that book. He's such a big part of that book. He's the training partner. And, he's amazing. I love to watch him as well. And again, when I think about the Hiberos, like I always go back to that book. I used to have it sitting like out during the podcast on the table, and I would constantly be talking about it. And, I loved it. My coach, he was a new black belt. So he was, first gym, new black. He had that book, and I'd show up and he'd just be looking at it and be like, okay, this is what we're doing today. That he didn't have a formal curriculum. We weren't part of a huge affiliation, but that's the way he taught. So it was really fun. We'd take a move out of there, and then he'd actually let us be like, so many of us were watching YouTube. So he would allow us to be like, okay, show me a video of something that you liked. Let's go over it so that you're not just doing some crazy moves here. He didn't originally love the whole that we would go and watch YouTube videos, but he wound up just like throwing up his hands and be like, okay, I guess this is the new world that we live in. And then I'd actually have my iPad off to the side and he'd let us be like, all right, show me how to do this. Not everybody loves that take on training, but it was definitely one of my better memories of training with him. So
I actually, speaking of like the YouTube thing, I actually just had a student recently. We laugh about this now, but he was showing one of his teammates something that he saw in a dream.
In a dream, in a dream,
like he had a dream of a technique, and he was trying to do it in training, like and I just kind of called him out on it. But, we laugh about it now. I asked him, I was like, where'd you see this? He was like, I just had a dream about it.
Now, there's two sides of that. Now, okay, I'll look at both sides of that. I'll be like, okay, it's kind of crazy, but look at the dedication. That's how much he loves jiu-jitsu, that he's dreaming about new moves. I got to say, I think I like the guy.
Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah. One time I had a new trial class guy come in, and sometimes I'll let new trial people like do like a little like situational training. Sometimes not. I kind of read the person. The first thing this person did was drop back for a straight ankle lock. They said they never trained jiu-jitsu before, and I asked them, I was like, I thought you never trained before. And then he said it was from playing the UFC video game. That he played a lot of the UFC video game, and he decided to try it.
I mean, these days it's legitimate. That probably really is true, right?
Well, I got to tell you, in the world of driving and racing, they used to make fun of people because they would spend time on these simulator games, which are very much similar, like GT4, Gran Turismo, and years later, people are being sponsored to race digital teams where they race like iRacing. Yeah. They get paid
during
to race.
COVID. That became a thing.
Yeah,
like people were like,
that was the only racing available.
They couldn't race, and like professional racers were actually like racing.
So
the
10 years ago, they were making fun of people. Now it's an actual business.
Yeah, right.
And
now it's a real thing.
Serious. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with the Gracie. I mean, look back at the Gracies in California, like Henner and Hedon. People were like making fun of them for the whole like Gracie University, and like you could get a blue belt online, even if you've never trained with them. I think that's kind of like, and fast forward, COVID happens. 3 months in, everybody's got some type of online training class. So it's just like that's something that was so new and foreign to people just is now the norm. I mean, do you know Nick Salas and I forget Danny's last name. I know that Danny Freestyle, right? They talk about like they so encourage their students to like learn on their own and look at videos and study tape and take notes. I mean, years ago it was like, no. You're learning this jiu-jitsu. Put that down. Put that away. You're learning this. I want to show you my jiu-jitsu, and this is the only way that you should learn. I mean, look, we've just come a long, long way. What is your take on that? You talked about the dream. Are you okay with your guys coming in and saying like, hey, look, I saw something on YouTube last night. Can you help me with this? Are you, will you sit there with them and work on it, or will you be like, listen, dude, wait a minute, maybe not the right time?
I think you can watch, videos and stuff like that and techniques. Once you've like mastered pin escapes, I think if you can't get out of like pinning positions, that should be your first goal.
Agreed.
Because if you get in a real fight and if someone mounts you in that fight, gets on top of you, if you can't get out, you're at that person's mercy.
Yeah.
I think the first thing you should do is just learn pin escapes. Maybe if you're watching videos on pin escapes, but once you get past the pin escape part, then I think you can kind of open up and look at different types of technique videos and stuff like that.
So you meant how long do you normally make somebody wait? A new student comes in, he's on maybe a trial week. Is he going to be rolling more than you said, doing some situational stuff? Would he be doing a roll the first week? Do you make him wait?
Usually even with like a first like trial or like a trial week, sometimes, I'll read the person, but sometimes I'll have them do like back mount positional or like mount positional. Like I'll just have someone on their back and I'll just be like, just don't throw any strikes. I just want you to try to get out. Or I'll put them bottom mount. I'll be like, just try to get out. And that will kind of show them the power of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that will really inspire them to train and take this martial art seriously is live training, like seeing how someone could so easily hold them down and they can't get out. It'll make them believe in jiu-jitsu and show them why they need to learn this.
Yeah, I think at that point, like they don't know what they don't know. And that definitely puts them in a position to go, oh shit, this is for real. This little guy that weighs 50 pounds less than me can hold me down. This is crazy. And that's the point, I think, where a lot of us go, I'm falling in love with it and give me more. I want more. And then there are people that go, yeah, no fucking way. I'm out of here. You know, I think that you either love jiu-jitsu or you hate jiu-jitsu. There's no middle ground. There's no like, yeah, I go train once a month, right? You know, it's either no, we're like I think addicted or we don't go, you know.
Yeah, I think live training will help you, understand if this is for you or not. And, you know, just some, you know, basic situational training like that without submissions, I think, is a good way to really help someone find out if this is for them.
Cool. So, okay, I got 2 more questions for you. This next one is, what is your ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu? You know, what do you want your legacy to be?
My ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu is to, you know, give tons of people the confidence to defend themselves in real life situations. I'm only 23 and I've already helped people who gotten confronted in the subway. I have an 18, 19-year-old female student who goes to the city to go to school. She just got confronted in the subway and she was actually able to defend herself. To me, that's beautiful. That's what martial arts is all about. And I just want to continue providing that for people, that ability to defend themselves. I do love competing, but my primary goal is to be a teacher and give as many people the confidence to defend themselves as humanly possible.
Cool. So I lied. I said 2 more questions. I have one more. What's next for you? Do you have any upcoming events that we should know about?
I'm doing a lot. I'm doing the ADCC Open next week.
Okay. After
that, I'm doing finishers again. I'm defending my 185-pound title. Cool. After that, no-gi pans, and then no-gi worlds. And this is all going to happen before, January.
That's cool, man.
So I have a lot of competitions on the horizon.
It's funny because I'm just realizing it's like so early in September and it's ADCC is here. Mm-hmm. We've been waiting for this. It was like September. Like we're right here now. This is awesome. Okay, last question. This is the most important question that we're going to ask you all night. Do you or do you not wash your gi belt?
So I do wash my gi belt. Yeah, I do wash my belt.
We got to give you the bell.
Yeah, I've heard that my whole life not to wash your belt, even Taekwondo, karate, jiu-jitsu, my whole life not to wash your belt. I used to have an instructor. One time I washed my belt and the stripes fell off and I asked them to put the stripes back on and they told me, ask the washing machine for your stripes.
Jesus. I've just always put them back on. I just always had a roll of tape and I put them back on. I was like,
yeah. But yeah, obviously you got to wash your belt. It's cloth. It's going to carry bacteria and stuff like that. That's how people get skin infections. You got to wash the belt.
Well, welcome to the Belt Washers Club. I am a belt washer. I think that people that don't are stinky bastards. And
I just generally
pretty
wash
nasty.
my clothes.
I wash my underwear. I wash my belt.
I wash myself.
All right, man. Listen, Sean, thank you very much. Don't hang up when we're done, though, because we're going to come take a picture or two by the screen so we have some promo stuff. But
awesome.
Do you have any shout-outs? You want to say hello to any sponsors or shout out any sponsors? This is your time.
I'd like to shout out my sponsor, Robles. They helped me out a ton with my competitive career, and they helped me out a ton with my gym. I would definitely go check them out. They have, their own Instagram. They're kind of blowing up right now. They have a lot of high-level athletes, and I'm happy to be a part of that team.
Okay. Very cool. All right. So, again, listen, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. Sorry for I don't know if any of those technical difficulties were on our end. It does happen once in a while, so no worries. We'll cut it together nice. Again, don't hang up. We're going to come by, but thank you for doing this, and we really appreciate you coming on.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, @MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. Neutral Zone is combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at neutralzoneclean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone Clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, very cool.
Yes.
Thank you again to Sean for joining us. We're going to dive right into our housekeeping. Don't forget, everyone, we're about to do pretty soon. We're going to do our $250 giveaway. I'm going to be posting about it a little bit more now that we have the rash guard design done. Sean from Flow and Roll is working on the some of the other items that we might put on beyond just the rash guard top, and then we're going to do a pre-order. And we'll be able to, any of the winners that we had previously, we'll be able to get their shirt, right? So we had some question winners, right? If you supplied a question for the show and we used it on the episode, I gave you the opportunity to either take the mug, the podcast t-shirt or mug, or this new rash guard coming. Not offering that anymore, but I did offer that to a few people, so we'll be able to get it out to you guys. Appreciate you guys being so patient, but we are going to have it on flowandroll.com pretty soon for pre-order. We'll let you know. But send us a receipt if you buy anything from any of our sponsors, including Vincero, one of our new sponsors. Send us a copy of the receipt. We're going to enter you into a $250 giveaway. It's going to be the rash guard, t-shirt, some jiu-jitsu swag. I might even throw in a gi, and we'll see what some of our other sponsors want to throw in or participate with. So, again, appreciate everybody watching and listening. So, listen, just thank you for all the support. You could check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram. My personal IG is Uncle Milty BJJ. Feel free to hit me up and follow. Bo?
At Badworks, BADWERKS.
Miguel? Miguel is JJD_DJJ69 if you want to follow Miguel. He is actually sick right now. I was just chatting with him after the episode here. I took a minute and he had been messaging us. He's okay. He's a little under the weather, and hopefully he'll be back next week. But again, thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu.